So I know I said I was on a book buying ban, which is still true. Does it count if they're free arcs that I get? I don't know. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina and it's time for a book haul. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, I did not think I would be saying those words in 2026 simply because you guys know I have been on a book buying ban all year up until this point, I guess. But here's the thing, like, I am still on a book buying ban. These were basically like gifted in a way, so I didn't break the book buying ban technically. Who am I to reject free books that are given to me, free arcs especially? I have a lot of books to show you today, and like I said, a lot of them are arcs. As you guys know, I am a bookseller at an indie bookstore, and one of the perks of being an indie bookseller is that sometimes we have representatives from different publishing houses like Penguin Random House, Source Books, Hachette, all of these big publishers. They send in sales representatives to come to my job and they promote books that are coming out in the year so that we know how to sell them, what we're selling, etc., etc. And you know, every once in a while they will bring in boxes, carts of free arcs to take. So that's what I did. I have had these books in my possession for the past few weeks waiting to film a book haul. I think I also might need to do another bookshelf reorganization video because I don't know where any of these are going to go, but that's a problem for a different day. Today we're going to focus on the fun part of this. I'm going to show you this bag, two bags actually, of books that I was given to by, again, like several different publishers, and I'm very thankful. Like I said, I have two bags of stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, there are a few books in here that I did buy, but I'm gonna get to those later. Right now, let's just get into the arcs of it all. I have like this giant bag that I think was gifted to me by the sales representative for Source Books. At some point when they just start handing out free stuff to you, you just gotta just take it. I have another free tote bag in the other bag next to me. Millions of readers, endless fun, 10 years of how to catch. Don't really know what that means exactly, but I'm thankful for another bag. I love a tote bag. Any tote bag I will be taking home with me. First book that I will be showing you guys is one that I took because I think the sales representative sold it to me by being like, it's kind of like the Hunger Games, but I think with like a Red Rising Fourth Wing twist. And I have not read Red Rising, and I'm honestly not really looking to read Red Rising, but I have read Fourth Wing, and though I'm not the biggest fan of Fourth Wing either, I would like to see how Hunger Games and Fourth Wing could even get mixed into the same sentence or the same book. So I did grab Firstborn by MJ Hastings. I literally have no idea what this is about. Let's read the back. First children take up arms. The second children take up books. The third children are taken. Long night is Bryn Ruel's final trial as a firstborn soldier, where she must prove she can take a life by dawn or be exiled immediately. But when Bryn discovers a kidnapping plot just hours before her test, she must discern if the threat to her youngest sister is real or a ruse meant to push her to the breaking point. When her search for the truth throws her into the arms of an enemy, Bryn must face an impossible choice: her country or her family, her siblings or herself. Ooh, I can definitely see where the Hunger Games comes in, because it's low-key giving like Katniss and Prim's dynamic with the whole like doing anything for your siblings thing, including just going to war and being the face of a war. Don't really know how it fits in with Fourth Wing, but that's interesting. I think this is the first book in a series. It comes out September, so I still have time to read it. I'm gonna be honest though, I don't think I will be able to get to all of these before their dates, because these are all books coming out this fall, and I'm not looking to like read all of these before the summer is over. I'm gonna be honest, but I am kind of intrigued by this. I am. There are symbols on like the characters' hands. There's like gold dripping down the dagger knife thing. I'm curious. I am curious. A lot of different fantasies and fictions were given to me, so I'm like just really excited for everything in this bag, if I'm being honest. You're gonna get tired of hearing me say that, but it's true, it's true. Next book is one that I was actually gonna start on audio yesterday but forgot, because I do have the audio arc credit for this book, but I also have the physical copy of it, which I honestly forgot. I haven't looked in this bag in the past few weeks, please don't judge me. Bad Words by Ryanak Robinson, I think that's the name. This person that gave this to me sold it by saying that it's comparable to Emily Henry, and Emily Henry did write a blurb on the front. And you guys know, for me, Emily Henry is a hit or miss author from like the 2 books I've read from her. I loved Funny Story by her, but I did not like People We Meet on Vacation. And I have 2 of her other books behind me somewhere on this shelf that I still need to read. But I'm interested in this because I think it's about like this book reviewer and this author, and the book reviewer slammed this author's like debut release or whatever, and so in the midst of him like coming out with his next book, he's very anxious, and I think like accidentally runs into the book reviewer, and there's like this kind of cat and mouse dynamic, or like enemies to lovers. I say enemies because is enemies to lovers really something that happens in the real world? I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of like that, I think, from what I remember. And like I said, I was gonna start it this month anyway on audio, but remembering that I have the physical copy, I might just read it physically. I don't know, I'm reading like 2 or 3 books right now physically though, so maybe audio might just be the best way to go for right now. But I am really excited about this. A lot of people are saying that this is like an anticipated romance fiction book of the year. I don't know if it's just standard fiction or romance, but I guess we'll just have to see. Another book that I know definitely came out like a week or 2 ago because I saw it at the bookstore. I did get the ARC for this like a week before the book actually got released. Main Characters by Bobby Palmer. This book I wanted to grab because it sounded so interesting to me. So basically we're following this couple, but we're following their relationship through people that are in their lives. So like we get the perspective of like their friends, their parents, their roommates, and all these people, and how they look at the 2 main characters' relationship and how it ended. And I think that that's really interesting. I don't know, I like being able to like have that fun when it comes to perspective in books. There was another book that I wanted to read that was kind of like this. I think it was The Favorites by Lane Fargo, the ice skater book. That book also intrigued me for the same reason of having just like nosy people all up in your business, but then like relaying the information that they know versus what other people know, and how sometimes it just doesn't mesh because it's not always the full truth. The blurb on the front says, "Some love stories are bigger than just 2 people." So yeah, I know that this came out last month in June, and yeah, I'm still interested in reading it. I don't care if it came out, I'm still probably going to read it. I can't guarantee when, but it just sounds so interesting to me that I feel like I have to. The next book I have is one that I'm kind of excited for because I think we're in this time period in like the book publishing industry where angels and demons are coming back into the forefront of like YA or even like adult fantasy books, and I am very intrigued with that type of storytelling. So I grabbed this ARC. This is The Shadows That Listen by Louisa Carmody. There is no blurb. All it says on the back is angels and demons are at war. Humanity is caught in the middle. Who will survive the night? It's literally all I got. I don't know anything other than that this is like a dystopian romantasy. It says that it's slow burn, but is it really? I guess we'll find out. It comes out in August. Perfect for fans of Shadowhunters and Crescent City. I have not read Shadowhunters. I think I read the first book actually like back in middle school when all of my friends were obsessed with it, but I just couldn't get into it, and I honestly don't think I need to revisit it. I know a lot of people are in their Shadowhunters era right now with reading Cassandra Clare's books for the first time. I don't feel that FOMO though, so I don't feel the need to read those books. And as for Crescent City, I'm not the biggest fan of Sarah J Maas, so, and I have read Crescent City and it's not that good. But all that to say, I am interested in this book. I know it doesn't give that I'm interested, but I am. I don't know if it's a series. It doesn't say that either, so I don't know. The next book is one that I don't know why I grabbed. I think it's just because like I'm obsessed with the concept of like mermaids and specifically sirens. I think that that's very cool. So when that was like the way that the book was sold to me, I was like, okay, I guess I have to take it home with me. But now looking at it, I'm just like, did I need to take it home? It's not because I think it won't be good, it's just because do I have the room on my shelf? I don't know. But anyway, A Fate Worse Than Drowning by Sarah L. Hawthorne. From what I remember, it's about these two sisters, maybe cousins, I don't remember, but one of them makes a deal with the devil for some reason to protect this island from like people that wash up ashore, any men specifically that wash up onto the shore of the island. But what happens when this girl's sister ends up falling in love with one of the men? I think that the twist is like one of the sisters, probably the sister that made a deal with the devil, is a siren of some sort. Yeah, I think that's what the twist of it is. And this comes out in like a couple of weeks. I don't think I'll be able to get to it before, but I don't know, I haven't read like a horror book in a while, and I think that this is categorized as a horror book, so it could be fun. I don't know, that's just how I feel about all these books. It could be fun, you never really know. And the next three books are all a part of the same manga series. I only wanted to take one of them home, but then as soon as the salesperson saw me holding the first volume of this in my bag, he was like, why don't you just take the second and the third one? And I was like, you're so right, why don't I just take the second and the third one? Like the idiot that I am, I took the second and the third one, as you could probably guess. These are Baki the Grappler by Kasuke Itagaki. Yeah, I have not heard about these, but I was interested because it just sounded cool. Now that I'm talking about them though, I don't really remember what they're about. They just started publishing these all in English like last year, so as they're continuing to pump them out, they keep on coming back to sell them at my store. At the place that I work. So I guess he was like, please take them, we have so many, and who am I to deny a bookseller that just wants me to take free manga? But the thing about manga that I've said many times is that as much as I do enjoy manga, I'm not the type of person to collect it or buy it because I just don't have the space right now. Like, manga series are too long, too many volumes of them for me to actually wholeheartedly collect, and I don't know how many volumes this is. I have no idea, so maybe this was a bad idea on my part. These aren't arcs, these were just books that were given to me because I don't know, I'm lucky, I don't know, but I do want to read them. You guys know I've been in kind of like a manga mood this year, though I haven't really picked up any manga the past like month and a half. I think I would be interested in reading Baki the Grappler whenever I get the chance to. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where I'm gonna put these, especially because these are very thick manga. Like, I don't know if you could tell, they're pretty huge. I don't have room for these, but that's a problem for a different day. That's not a right now problem, Marina. You don't have to worry about that right now. Now we can go on to the second bag that I have here. This bag is filled with more arcs, but also we're gonna get into the books that I did end up buying, but we're gonna save it for the end. Okay, we're gonna just save it for the end. Now this next arc is for a sequel of a book that I have not read yet, but I do plan on reading. So before you guys get on me about like getting the sequel of a book in a series that I haven't even started yet, I don't want to hear the judgment. I saw that they were giving this out and I was like, oh my god, I need to grab it. It was just like a gut reaction because I know that I'm gonna read the first book eventually, I just haven't gotten it there yet. So, but I did get the arc for The Thief and the Traitor The Thief and the Traitor Bride by V.L. Bavellino. This is the sequel to The Second Death of Locke, and I don't know what the name of this series is, but this is the sequel companion novel book in that series. I really want to read The Second Death of Locke. I've been wanting to read it for the past like year since it came out. I think it's been a year. Every time I see that cover in the bookstore, I'm like, you need to read that, Marina. And I know that I'm going to because it's on Kindle Unlimited. So as long as it's on Kindle Unlimited, I'm gonna get to it eventually. Like, it's literally in my library. I just haven't started it yet. But because I know I'm going to, I just had to grab the second book. It was for free. It was for free. You would do it too for a check. But I really love these covers. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the Second Death of Locke covers, but I think that every single cover so far in this book series has just been really pretty to me, and I would like to own them, especially if I end up liking the first one. I have no idea what this is about. I think it's second chance romance, I'm pretty sure, between a thief and a traitor bride. I don't even know the trope. I just know, oh, this is a part of that series that I really want to start. Let me grab it. That's all that went through my mind. But yeah, I am really excited to get to this after I get to The Second Death of Locke. Though I have been told they're interconnected standalones. You don't need to read the books in order to understand, I think, which is intriguing to me because you don't really see that in like fantasy series. Though I think that these all are considered romantasy maybe, but you don't really see it in like fantasy series, like an interconnected standalone about different characters in the same world and blah blah blah. At least not with me, not the stuff that I've seen. So I'm really interested in it. And the next book that I have is from an author that I've been dying to read because they wrote a book last year. The author of I, Medusa. Ayana Gray is coming out with Hawk and Sparrow in, I want to say September? Yeah, September 1st is when this is coming out. And I've been hearing a lot of great things about I, Medusa for a while now, and it just reminded me looking at this book that I need to read that. But I don't think that this has anything to do with that series. They're like completely separate. I think I, Medusa is a standalone. I don't think this is a part of a series. I don't know. I didn't really do that much research into it. I don't know. Yeah, she also wrote Beasts of Prey. Like, she's written a lot of popular books that I've heard of. I think that this is also an enemies to lovers heist thing. I don't know, but I am very intrigued. I can't wait to get started on this. Okay, so this next book, Moth's Blood by Lin D. Jung, I grabbed this because someone compared it to Blood Over Brighthaven. And you guys know that's been like one of my standout, one of my best reads of the year. And I just thought it was fate that around the same time I finished that book, this book was presented to me on a silver platter being compared to it. So I grabbed it. I think it has to do with alchemy of some sort. I think it's Dark Academia, but I'm not gonna lie, after I heard Blood Over Brighthaven, I blacked out. I don't really know anything else about this book other than what it was compared to. And this also comes out in September. September 1st is honestly a really big release date. Like, I'm sure one of your favorite authors is releasing a book on that date. It's like gonna be really huge. So I'm actually really happy that I got to get some of these books because a lot of them are priority for me. But this one I had no idea about. I seriously was shocked because it seems like it's up my alley, and I've never read anything by Lin D. Jung. I don't know if this is like a debut. Oh yes, it says on the back it's an electrifying debut. I think it's just a fantasy horror book. Can't be too sure until I open it up and read it, but yeah, it will be getting read soon. All right, and in this bag, like I said, I also have a tote from HarperCollins. I think this is for like the classics that they're releasing this year. It's for their books that defined a nation, and this is like all of the classics that they have on the bag. I am so greedy when it comes to tote bags. I will take it if it is free. And I also just like the way that this looks. It's very basic, but I like my tote bags to be basic. And now we're gonna get to the books that I bought. Now, a lot of these books, all of these books I think, are in my work stack, which is essentially like the stack of books that I have at my job that I know I'm going to buy but I'm saving up for. I keep a stack like that underneath my work desk, and when I'm in the mood to buy them, I will buy them. All of these I think are used books. So yeah, I didn't really spend that much on them, all that to say. So I did break my book buying ban, but I think in total for all of the books I'm about to show you that are in this bag that are left for this haul, I spent maybe like $2. We get book credits, so I could use that towards any purchase I want. And I had several book credits to use. Okay, several book credits, and so I didn't really end up spending a penny on any of this. We're saving our judgments for later when I do my bookshelf reorganization video, not for this video, guys. We're having fun. So the first book I have is one that I have been wanting to read ever since I read Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, because a lot of people are saying like this book is the mother of all vampire books. Like, you can't have read Dowry of Blood, you can't have read Dracula without reading this book. And I was thinking about starting this one on audio too, because I have the audiobook saved and downloaded on Libro FM. But I don't know, I think it's low-key giving like physical read. Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu, a dark sapphic romance that inspired Dracula, according to this right here. I'm not really a fan of sprayed edges on a paperback, if I'm being honest. Like, the sprayed edges are kind of throwing me off, but I bought it because I did want to read it. I really want to read Carmilla. You guys know I am a lover of all things vampire-like, and I'm very much in the mood for vampire books right now, so I think I might read this. I don't know, I thought it'd be longer, but it's not. It's like a very short book. Apparently this predates Dracula by 26 years and is the original vampire story steeped in sexual tension and gothic romance. Yeah, if I'm being honest, I have no real desire to read Dracula, so I think that this is the next best thing, or probably the better thing, because I've heard nothing but good things about Carmilla, and I've heard really mixed things about Dracula from people that I trust who have read that classic. So I am definitely going to read it. Again, I don't know if I'll do it on audio or physical, but because again the physical book is just so short. How many pages is this? It's like a little over 100 pages. I think I could definitely read this physically in like less than a day. I should have done this for my 12-hour readathon. I should have, but it's fine. Yeah, Carmilla, I did buy this and I'm not sorry about it because I think I'm gonna love it. I do. The next book is one that I got because I was feeling really bad FOMO, because one of my favorite booktubers, Carrie Can Read, talks about this author all the time as like one of her favorite fantasy authors, and just from the way that she describes like this author's writing and this book I'm about to show you specifically, I was like, I need to get that. And this was also in the used section, like I said, so it was very cheap, didn't really cost me anything. Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marie. This is the first book in a series that I can't remember the name of, but I've heard a lot of good things about Juliette Marie's writing even before. I heard Carrie Can Read talk about how much she loves her books, because she's been writing fantasy for a long time. I don't know how old this book series is. Yeah, this came out in the year 2000. That's crazy. I've heard about this book for a good chunk of my life, this book series, and I'm in the mood to get into like older fantasy. I feel like a lot of like current fantasies that are being released aren't hitting for me, and I can't put my finger on why exactly, so I do want to experiment with like older fantasies. I have the sequels to this in my stack at work. I didn't buy the full series. I'm trying to not do that anymore, guys. Like I still have a little bit of control in me, okay? I didn't buy the whole series, but I do have it in my stack at work in case I do end up enjoying this book enough to continue on with the series. I don't remember how long it is. I know that this is book one of a trilogy, but I think that there are like other series that are connected to this, so we'll see. I have the first 4 books in my stack. Yeah, but I'm very excited for this. I'm a little iffy on reading a mass market paperback though, because the text is just so small. Like, it's just, oh my god. It's been told to me that Juliette Marie has like a very poetic writing style, and it is very romantic and lush and all these great things, and I just want to read it. I just want to see. I also really like the old-timey covers on mass markets. I do, so I am open to collecting these types of covers for the series because I actually do really like this cover. The next book is from an author that I read from earlier this year, and I read a little bit of last year, and I just really want to read more of her stuff. I've heard really good things about this book, and I think that the sequel for it came out this year, so if I like it, I can't wait to get to it. Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. This is the first book in a duology, I want to say it's a duology. This is her latest romantasy series, and I don't know what it's about, but I grabbed the book because look at that cover. It's so pretty. It's so gorgeous. I've been meaning to read it since it came out, but I completely forgot. I think this like follows a girl that ends up inheriting like a lot of money from one of her relatives, and she has a sword, and some guy comes out of the sword, like some old-timey knight, I think, comes out of the sword and is willing to protect her. That's all I've heard about this book, and it sounds bonkers. But T. Kingfisher, I don't know, I'm open to reading it. I read the first book in, what's that series called? The Paladin of Steel or Paladin Knights series. I read the first book in that a few months ago, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that, if I'm being honest. You guys saw my review. I thought that the romance in it was cute, but the story was kind of too all over the place for me, so I'm hoping that this one fits better, because I do think I like T. Kingfisher. Like, I like her writing style for like certain books, but not all her books. And so I read her Sleeping Beauty retelling last year, and that's the book that got me hooked onto T. Kingfisher, and I just want to find another one of her books that made me feel like that when I read that book, because I really did enjoy it. I can't remember what the name of it was, and I think that this could be fun. I really do think that I could have a fun time with this, and I also just really love how pretty this cover is. Like, I really can't stress this enough. Like, ugh, gorgeous. Okay, now the last book that I have is the one that I'm most excited about, because it is a special edition of a book that has been on my Storygraph TBR forever, and it came into the used section like about a month ago, and I knew as soon as I got that book in, I would be putting it in my holds. I didn't even get a chance to touch the shelf before I put it in my stack to buy, and I finally bought it like a couple of weeks ago. A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Ayend. I think that's how you pronounce the author's name. This is, I want to say, the Fairy Loot edition of the book. Guys, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Get the end papers. I've been wanting to read this because I heard a lot of really nice things about it. Oh my god. I heard a lot of really nice things about this book last year. Like, a lot of people were saying it was kind of like the underdog last year of like a really excellent start to a fantasy series, because I don't think this author has written anything other than this book. So a lot of people were wowed by how good it is. I think it follows like a kingdom of people that can like have access to their ancestors to get their ancestors to help them fight in a war. When they have access to their ancestors, they also have access to their power, and a lot of cool stuff. I really did want to read this last year. I just didn't get a chance to actually start it. And then when I saw this book, I was like, I need to read this. Like, just the art alone. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, this is definitely the prettiest book I own. I think it's like up there. I don't even know what could beat this. Like, I'm looking on my shelf and I have a lot of pretty books, don't get me wrong, but I think this is by far the prettiest book that I own. I can't remember if this is Fairy Loot. Let me actually check. It is Illumicrate. Yeah, because there's the whole letter at the beginning. Okay, yeah, this is by far my prettiest book that I have right here. It's like just the cover. Ugh. And I think that the sequel for it just came out, I'm pretty sure. So I'm definitely behind. I'm behind on a few of these. But I am very happy with everything that I bought, because I do want to get to pretty much everything that I grabbed. Like, I wasn't just grabbing to grab, because that's sometimes what I do when sales representatives come. I just grab ARCs just because they're free. But I tried to be mindful, tried to keep it classy, tried to keep it cute and demure. This time around, I really did try to only grab books that I am genuinely interested in. And it's a lot more than I would have bargained for, but I do want to get to all of these books. So that is the end of this book haul. If there is any book in this stack that is standing out to you, let me know and I could probably read it soon. Like I said, I'm reading multiple physical books right now, so I don't think I'd be able to get to these immediately, because I'm reading a really hefty fantasy book right now, and I just don't think I could pick up any of the fantasies, but I will try to get through these soon, especially because a lot of these books again are coming out in the fall, and I do want to get to a couple of them before the fall comes. So yeah, if there are any books that you think I should get started on immediately and you want to hear my review, let me know. Yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm excited, but I'm again so terrified because I don't know where I'm gonna put my books at. I didn't think that part through when I was grabbing them, but bookshelf reorganization video incoming in 3, 2, 1. Like, it's getting bad. Though I do have a feeling I will be unhauling books soon, because as I'm looking at my shelves, there are definitely some books I could give away, so be on the lookout for that video, I guess. You guys know whenever like there's a haul, there's usually an unhaul coming after for me, because that's how little space I have. I need to get rid of books to get books. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, thank you so much. If you'd like to follow me on my social media, it'll all be linked down in the description below. And yeah, I think that's it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.